Do you ever feel like everybody but you is winning at life? Like there is some secret strategy that they know that just makes success come natural? Well, I can tell you that there is such a strategy, and fortunately for you, I'm going to lay it all out for you in this video. Let's start with something that might seem pretty obvious, but trust me, it's crucial. First things first, you've got to choose a goal. But here's the thing, it's not just any goal. You need something measurable, something you can actually track and realistically achieve in a set amount of time. Think about it. You can't just wave a magic wand and solve world hunger in 6 hours, right? But what you can do is set a goal to feed 1,000 people over a weekend. This is what we call a SMART goal. A SMART goal is a goal that is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. When you're setting your goal, make it as clear as crystal. If it's vague, you'll find it hard to focus and stay motivated. It should be measurable so you can see your progress and give yourself a pat on the back as you get closer to your target. It's got to stretch you a bit, sure, but it should still be within the realm of possibility. We're talking achievable here. Also, make sure your goal resonates with you and fits into the bigger picture of your life. If it doesn't, keeping up the motivation will be like running uphill in the rain. And lastly, set a deadline. This gives you that little nudge of urgency and helps you sort out what's important. If you nail this step, you're on your way to making your goal a reality. Now, let's move on to step 2. This next step may shock some because it goes against some well-established conventional advice. Let's consider for a moment that your goal is like some hidden pirate treasure. To get to it usually entails an exciting and sometimes dangerous adventure that all starts with a treasure map. In most treasure hunting stories, the map is vague or incomplete, and the effort required to fill in the blanks results in a journey of self-discovery. This is an important parallel to your own personal journey towards achieving your goals. Even though you start with a plan or map on your success journey, you will undoubtedly experience a series of setbacks along the way that you could have never planned for. This leads me to the second step of our plan, which is to avoid spending too much time planning. In fact, give yourself just 1 hour, only 60 minutes, to whip up a quick plan for achieving your goal. You might be thinking, just 1 hour? Really? But hear me out. We all know that a good plan can help us channel our energy and efforts towards the most efficient route to success. But here's the catch. Sometimes we can get way too caught up in planning. It's like this weird balance. When you start out, planning helps you get your bearings and line up your ducks. But after a while, too much planning starts to lose its magic. You can actually plan yourself into paralysis, where you're so busy planning that you never actually start doing. So use this hour to sketch out a rough roadmap of what needs to be done. Don't get bogged down in the nitty-gritty. Here's the big secret. You'll learn way more by rolling up your sleeves and getting stuck in than you ever will by just planning. Trust me, the real learning starts when the planning stops. So now you have figured out what you want to do, and you have a rough idea of how to do it. What next? Well, now it's time for you to contend with the biggest threat to your success: failure. Failure, obstacles, setbacks, roadblocks. These things are unavoidable, even with the best crafted plans. So with that in mind, you are going to approach this part of the journey differently. Step 3 in our success plan is to embrace the art of failing fast. Yep, you heard that right. Fail fast. Why? Because if you're doing anything worthwhile, failure isn't just a possibility, it's virtually guaranteed. The sooner you stumble, the quicker you'll realize that failure isn't the boogeyman. It's actually a stepping stone disguised as a stumbling block. Henry Ford said, "Failure is only the opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely." Every time you trip up, you're learning a valuable lesson that can be used to refine your strategy and keep moving towards success. That's not all either. Each failure toughens you up, building your resilience like a muscle. The more you fail, the more you learn and grow, which means there are fewer ways left to fail. Before you know it, you'll be running out of ways to get it wrong and finding more ways to get it right. If you have been following along this long, you have learned a lot about how to tackle your goals, but now we're ready for probably the most important step of the whole plan. Throughout your journey, you have been taking chances based on a plan and a dream. You have encountered several pitfalls and setbacks that have brought you valuable lessons on what not to do. Now it's time to audit yourself. You need to know what worked and what did not. You can do this by keeping a journal of some kind, but the idea is simple. As you are working towards your goal, keep record of your successes and your failures. This can give you perspective, which is really important in keeping you focused and on track. The clarity that comes from this can help you resist the urge to go back to the drawing board every time you experience a negative consequence. Thomas Edison, the king of trial and error, once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." So if you make it your mantra to try just one more time, every time you learn something new, you're not just inching closer to your goal, you're leapfrogging towards it. The real magic of this plan reveals itself after a few rounds of showing up, taking action, overcoming an obstacle, tweaking the plan, and documenting your journey. You will see that you are steadily moving closer and closer to your goal. This plan is only as powerful as your ability to stick to it, so you must be willing to take action. Take a look at this video if you're interested in tips on how to maintain motivation.